doing so far, and they've been really fantastic.
Well, so that is Phil. I mean,
That
Kim
is
last. Yes. I mean, Tactical, they disturb too much. Now, Phil, Kim last, Bjorke Green has done so well with his Black Queen side. I mean, to be very frank with you, I was a bit taken aback in his friendly games when he played the likes of Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, in Senegal, and you look at the way the Queens were playing, you look at the margin of goals were scoring, I was like, nah, was this the right choice then? But look, it looks like he has diffused everything at the Women African Cup of Nations. They just ended one where we finished third in Morocco. It looks like he's now stepped onto the pedal. I mean, he's getting things right. He has gotten the girls to be playing the way he wants them to play. I mean, Phil, what do you make of him and then the journey of the Black Queens so far?
He's been fantastic, and it's not just about the results, but the way he went about getting the result, going to Cairo, beating, and they kept the ball on the turf. They played as a unit. You see the connection between the players on the pitch. They were the first goal came getting to the end of the first half. So they knew that the second half, the Egyptians would press, they would push, and they soaked the pressure for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before they started playing that counter-attacking game. And it was so swift. If it was against I would say the West African side, the game would have been very physical. But in this case, it was clear aggression and skill throughout the 90 minutes plus injury time. It was so nice to watch. And the kind of understanding between the midfield and the defense was so... you could tell that this was something from the training ground because they understood themselves on the pitch. Some of the passes that they sent to the wings, the players were not even there by then. But then the way they played, you saw the cohesion, you saw the understanding, and I believe this side would go far. It would go far if we definitely will be at the tournament, and we'll go far definitely because we've not or I have not seen the Queens play like this in a while. Victor, I'm so impressed with Coach Kim with the work he's doing.
Victor, on that note, we spoke about there were news there was a news that the Black Queens have not had their bonuses for their performance in the WAFCON paid to them. We hope that the people in the right places would settle their arrears and give them their due. Because look, I'm telling you.
Let me even cut it. I think that they've been paid now because I think somewhere on Wednesday there was a report that the Black Queens, I mean, the ministry acknowledged that it was delayed them because there were a lot of games happening back to back. The Black Stars were asking the Black Princesses, and so I had the technical advisor to the Ministry of Sports and Recreation. That is Madam Betty Crosby something, and she was very blunt about it and even apologized and hope that it motivated the girls to, give of their best for the nation. So it's been taken care of now.
Let's keep that going because look, I'm saying. I think of all our national teams at the moment, they probably are the ones that are giving us a lot of joy. You go to the Women AFCON, you place third. I don't remember the last time the Black Stars did that. So there's that. Let's give them what they are owed.
Don't worry, the Black Stars will bounce back soon. Yes, they'll bounce back soon. But away from that, Phil, do you have anything to say again? Because we want to jump straight to Europe. And look at the results of the UEFA Champions League, the group phase. It rained goals in Europe, and especially on match day one, where we saw the likes of Paris Saint-Germain and how terrific they were in terms of form. And look, it was just crazy for me. The goals kept coming. It's just like what one of the former players said, that the calls kept coming. The calls keep coming. The calls keep coming. We saw goals at Stamford Bridge where Chelsea were great against Ajax Amsterdam. We saw goals in Germany where we saw Bayern Munich again against Club Brugge. Great display from them. I think elsewhere also at something Bank Park where Liverpool played Eintracht Frankfurt. We also saw goals there, and I was particularly happy about the fact that Liverpool is back to winning ways. I mean, Andy Slot, he would have been under fire if Liverpool had failed to pick a point in that particular game. And then I think the only game that failed to produce a result on Tuesday had to do with Atlanta game and then Sparta Prague game that remained goalless. Then on Wednesday, I forgot to mention the famous Barcelona win, also against Karabakh, and wonderful stuff from Fermin Lopez for Barcelona, even Marcus Rashford. On Wednesday, we saw another avalanche of goals. Madrid, not the best of display, but again, you can understand them because they are taking on the old ladies of Serie A, Juventus. We saw Manchester City display against Villarreal. I mean, great stuff happening in the Champions League. I mean, let me come to Emmanuel first. Emmanuel, what do you make of it?
Yeah, it was a great match week 3 of the Champions League. When the Tuesday goals happened, apparently that was the second highest record number of goals in a single match day since this new Champions League format began. And then Wednesday games also added, but you add all the 2 goals, and apparently that was the record number of goals we've seen for a match day in the Champions League. And so that is great. And I think, with this whole UEFA Champions League new format, there were a lot of skepticism, when UEFA said they were going to change the format. People wondered if it was going to really be as fun and as entertaining as, the previous one. But I think so far, it's not disappointed. It's lived up to the billing. It's lived up to the expectations. I particularly am quite impressed. I think they stole the idea from my president, Florentino Perez, with the Super League, but who is counting? Yeah, but it's been so great so far. I mean, let me talk about Barcelona for a minute on Tuesday. The officiating is a problem. It's a problem, Victor. The officiating is, if you watch the Barcelona game, look, everyone expected Barcelona to beat Olympiacos. They were not going to be a match for them, yeah? But when the game is balanced, at 2-1, Barca took a 2-goal lead, and then Olympiacos equalized 1 goal, they pulled 1 back, and then you say to yourself, okay, now finally we have a game on our hands. Finally, we are going to see some football. Then the referee goes to show a red card to a player who had been fouled. That player was held, and he tried to free himself. Then you foul him because in the process of freeing himself, he used his hand to. It's not even a brush. You can't call that a brush. Then the referee gives a red card, and then the Rashford penalty. It's laughable, man. And in an age where there's VAR, you would think decisions like this would be a thing of the past. Referees, we will not be talking about refereeing decisions after games because there are cameras now. There are cameras viewing and screening every single action of the play, but somehow. A referee makes a decision like what that referee did in that Barca game, and there's no recourse. Apparently, because it wasn't a straight red card, you can't go and relook at it. Come on, something has to be done. And I think already FIFA knows that, because in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, there was this new policy or this new rule where managers could hold up cards where if they felt like a referee had done a bad call, a bad decision, as a manager, you can hold up a card, and then the referee would have to review that particular decision from the monitor.
Yeah, I think it started with the Under-20.
Yeah, Under-20 World Cup, and I think eventually we have to see that in club football, because look, if that was happening, that red card would not be that red card.
Absolutely,
it was really laughable, and I think we have to start going beyond this, petty mistakes, petty decisions, especially when it's almost related to a certain one Catalan club.
Hi, Charlie. Well, I know where you're heading to. I know where you're heading to, but
I've not said anything.
Oh, I know, but I know the people you're referring to. So just take your time for them. And again, it's quite porous.
Yeah.
I mean, in the officiating system, if some of these basic calls. I mean, a fan who sits, watch the game on television, and he knows that now this should be right. This is basic. And but Emmanuel, sometimes you cannot fault the referee because it is in the heat of the moment. And they have to make those decisions.
And that makes sense. I understand. Yeah. That's why there's the benefit of replays. Go look at that incident again. If you thought, there's a chance that because you are human, we are not expecting them to get all the decisions right. But the benefit of VAR and the replays is to serve for that purpose. You can make a mistake, go review your decision, and be absolutely sure that you made the right call. That's what we're asking. Yeah.
So that is Emmanuel Donko. Let me go to Zoom because Tufo Junior is joining us via Zoom, and Tufo. I mean, hello, Tufo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Wow.
All right. I mean, great to have you on the Weekend Sports Rally on Z101.9 FM.
Yes, I'm so humbled. I miss you guys already. And my regards to my
guys. Absolutely.
We miss you too, Phil.
Yeah.
Sorry. Phil, you keep bothering me, man.
Before I allow Tufo to comment on any issue regarding the UEFA Champions League, he's a proper Kumasi boy and someone who works with the National Sports Authority, and they are in charge of the Babaya Sports Stadium. So he's a proper porcupine warrior. I want to find out from him how he feels like.
We all want to find out. We are all interested.
They were hammered. They were hammered in Morocco. How do you feel about that? Do you think that your darling club could have done better?
Well, yes. I felt they could have done better by virtue of the margin of the scoreline or how the game should have ended. Especially when we got back into the game with that Samba O'Neal header. We thought, this is it. We can push to the final minute. We can make a name for ourselves. We can change the narrative. We get back into the second half and it's haywire. Hell breaks loose. The goalkeeper is fumbling, misplaced passes. The defense cannot close and be compact enough. So we were disappointed with the scoreline. We knew it was always going to be difficult, but we wanted to give ourselves the push. We wanted to believe that, hey, it's not always the same, that they get the best out of us. We will push them to the wall. We will take it to the final minute. Maybe it could have been a 2-1, it could have been a 3-2, that close kind of scoreline. But it is what it is. The reality is that they are always getting better and better ahead of us. Whether it's details, whether it's the fundamentals, whether it's the basics, whether it's money, whatever it is, they are still miles ahead of us, and they are always getting better. That is what we are feeling right now. It's painful. I mean, to have your team believe, give you a bit of hope here or fight to some extent, and then you go away and you lose just like that. So we are heartbroken, and then the final blow at the end of it. So you let's get into it. Let's roll. We'll get to that one.
Okay, so now you agree that you're on the same pedestal with Hasselhoff, whom you were hoping to laugh at. Yeah. That in their last game against Wydad, they took 6-1 aggregate. But unfortunately, it looks like their record is even better than yours because they managed a win in Accra and got hammered away.
Yeah, and you can imagine that was I think 2 or 3 years back, and that WAC squad was even stronger than this one. So it makes it very, very, very uncomfortable for us. You know, the rivalry and how we want to get a go at each other. But on a larger scale, it's not funny. 2 of the best clubs in Ghana trolling each other who conceded the most. It tells you the level of how deep or how low we've sunk to. I mean, these clubs should be challenging them. These clubs should be setting a standard. These clubs should be having some pride and ego when they go outside to feature for African games. But look at what we are discussing. Who conceded the most? Who impressed? I mean, who gave a good shot at themselves? It's another topic for another day. Wow.
Absolutely. And let me stay with you a bit. UEFA Champions League, big result. The big boys really showed up. The likes of Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea were very riots at their own backyard at the Stamford Bridge, and Liverpool picked a vital win. When I say a vital win, so vital for an Ancelotti going away in a Champions League. What is your big game in the UEFA Champions League? And what do you think has been your sore losers this weekend? For me, I don't even talk about Napoli.
The least said about them, the better. I mean, we all know Antonio Conte is not that good when it comes to European competitions. That is number one. Number two, he goes into the game with a very weak squad. In fact, injuries are set in. He has at least 4 key players out of that game. And we all knew it wasn't going to be that difficult, because when you look at the PSV side, they are a side that concedes goals a lot. They are good, they are trickery, they are young players in there, there's useful exuberance. But you expect a coach in the caliber of Conte to at least manage the situation and not let things get out of hand. So the least said, the better. And even this weekend is even going to be hell for them. So if you are conceding 6 or 5 against PSV, how much more the onslaught of Inter, who are in fine form and who have won all competitions, or who have won, I think their last 6 games in all competitions they've won. So it's going to be very, very difficult for Napoli. So the least said about them, the better. They are the poorest, they are the worst team this week in the UEFA Champions League. Not characteristic of a Napoli side, not characteristic of the players and their quality on the field, but some way, somehow, it's a bit of the nature of Antonio Conte. He just doesn't know how to get himself within these European knockouts and these games at all. It's very poor on his side. I mean, every club will be looking at getting Conte on board. He's an elite manager. You can't dispute that fact. But again, his kryptonite. When you bring him in domestically, he gets you the trophies. But outside in Europe, can he really do the job? Can he sustain something? Can he build something memorable and worthy enough of a historic achievement? So Napoli is the poor team. However, Liverpool, I would say, got a breather. I mean, when you lose at home, when you lose outside, that is any competition in Europe, you come back home and you still lose. It tells you that there's much of a crisis. Some said it was a purple patch. I believe it to a certain extent, but just when they lost at Anfield against Manchester United, I knew there's some sort of crisis in there. Either he's trying to sort out which players can fit into Mainz and his slot system as compared to what we fed off in Jurgen Klopp's side, or Jurgen Klopp's momentum, or his squad in there. Now he gets into it, spends so much, and it looks like the forward line is not clicking. It looks like the midfield, there are gaps in there. It looks like defensively the personnel are making petty mistakes. So you begin to wonder what happened. What were we doing? What were they doing special last season as compared to this season? But that win against Frankfurt, I mean, it gives them a breather. And then we can say it's a purple patch. I believe it was crisis, because when you spend over £450 million and you can't win games, and you lose 4 games on the trot in all competitions, it is a major crisis, because to whom much is given, much is expected. A forward line that boasts of players creating in and out of chances, a forward line that boasts of players that are scoring 20 plus goals and having 15 plus goals in at least 2 of the top 5 leagues, it is some sort of a problem, or it is some sort of a crisis. But now they are good. They get to breathe. And then Newcastle surprised me also. I was thinking Jose Mourinho and his Benfica side will give them a big boy performance, or will give them a grandfather steez kind of. That is, having a traditional Champions League side with an elite manager who has won it all in Europe, give them a bit of a trouble. But it wasn't the case. Newcastle just glided past them. They were quicker, they were active, proper English football, kick and run. They run for 90 minutes. Jose Mourinho and his boys just couldn't handle them. And I'm so happy for Eddie Howe, especially looking at how the whole Alexander Isak drama and Buhaha weighed them down. They just couldn't know which striker to sign. They go in for Iketike, they are bounced. They go in for this guy, they are bounced. They got Wesa, he's in there injured. They brought in Elanga. So I'm happy for Eddie Howe and how he has gotten things together. However, my team of the week will be Arsenal. I mean, they were in fine form. And one thing people haven't really paid attention to is Arsenal's defense this season. It's rock solid. I mean, coming up against an Atletico side they are a team that know how to play defensive football. They are a team that are difficult to beat. But again, they've got some of the lethal attackers in there. I mean, Julian Alvarez walks into so many teams in Europe's top 5 leagues for me. He's one of the next generation set of strikers who can play to feet, who can win balls, who can run into space, who is also good in set pieces. So I think for me, Arsenal was my team of the week. How they dispatched Atletico Madrid in the second half, especially keeping it tight at the back. People should watch out for them again. For Paris Saint-Germain, the least said, the better. I mean, they will always score. And I think they broke a record for a calendar season with the most goals scored in a calendar season in the Champions League, previously held by Manchester United. So they are not stopping now. They've learned from their mistakes from the Club World Cup. They know they can score. They know they can create chances. And you just don't trust one source. Hakimi can get you a goal. Nuno Mendes can get you a goal. Vitinha can get you a goal. Dembele comes off the bench. He scores a goal. So it's fanfare. I mean, it's sweet champagne football. Luis Enrique will be so proud of his team. They don't really care about the defensive mechanisms, keeping clean sheets and all that. They know they have to play. They know they have to score more, and probably they'll do the job. So that is my take on the Champions League this week.
Well, thank you very much, Tufo Junior. I mean, just be on a standby. Let me return to the studio and then pick the thoughts of Phil Anand. And, you know, when you look at the Champions League standing, you have Paris Saint-Germain, who is currently leading the log. You have the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, the big boys are performing. And when you go to the bottom stacked, the down there, you see Ajax, Karamat, Amalfi. I mean, it's shocking. Phil, Tactical Phil believes that a lot of things can change going forward. Phil, what's your opinion on the standings at the moment?
I think a lot will change in the few games that fixtures coming up in the Champions League. Just like you said, PSG are first on the table with 9 points. Bayern Munich followed 9. Inter as well, third. Arsenal fourth. And then Real Madrid fifth. I'm just picking the 5 teams. And looking at the teams that they played, the first 3 matches that they played. PSG first played against Atlanta at home, and they won by 4-0. They also played Barcelona. They went away to play Barcelona, and they beat Barcelona by 2-1. I must say that in that game, PSG had a number of players injured. The Ballon d'Or winner was absent. They had other key players as well that they couldn't feature in that match, but then they went away to win. Yeah. They played against Leverkusen away again, and they beat them by 7-2. Crazy game. Crazy. And it tells you the momentum at this very point that PSG are having. On the league log, they are second with 17 points. They are just behind Marseille on the league log. And they are playing fantastic football. They have the players. The boys are very young. Bacola, Ramos, and the rest.
Yeah, Vitinha and all of them.
Yeah. They are playing sweet football. I believe that's the kind of football that Barcelona would wish that their team would play, and that's the football that PSG are showcasing now. When you look at Bayern Munich as well, Bayern Munich in the first game played Chelsea, and they beat Chelsea by 3-1. In that game, I think Maresca, it was the first Champions League ever in his career that he played in a career game that he played against Bayern Munich. It was away, and we saw little mistakes that were made in that game. He played a certain set of players, bringing on Reece James. I questioned him for that. Reece James in midfield, and he played a number of systems in in that game. They lost. Bayern Munich played well, but then they couldn't score goals by the goals that Chelsea conceded were goals that they created or they gave up for Bayern Munich to score. The first goal was an own goal by Chalobah, and a certain mistake as well in defense. Gusto passed to. He thought he was passing the ball to Sanchez, but then he passed to Harry Kane. Harry Kane scored. So in that game, I would say that yes, it was a learning process for Maresca, and Bayern Munich won by 3-1. In the second game, they went away to Pafos to beat them by 5-1. In their third game, they played Club Brugge. I believe we are taking note of the games that the teams are playing. Picking from PSG now, Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich played Chelsea. They played Pafos away. They played Club Brugge. And in their next games, they will be playing. Bayern Munich will be going away to France to play PSG. They will go away again to Arsenal. I didn't state the PSG away games. PSG would stay at home to play Bayern Munich, and their next game after Bayern Munich, they will play Spurs. But Bayern Munich will be going away to PSG, and then away again to Arsenal. Bayern Munich are first on the log, on the Bundesliga log with 21 points. Let's go to Inter Milan. Inter Milan, in their first game, they went away to Holland to Ajax to beat them by 2-0. They stayed at home and played Slavia Praha. They beat them by 3-0. They went away to play Union St. Galois, and they won by 4-0. I believe you are taking note of the teams that they played.
Absolutely.
Ajax, Slavia Praha, Union St. Galois, and they have away match. Their next two games will be with Kairat away, and then play at home against Atletico Madrid. So we have Ajax, Slavia Praha, Union Galois. Those are previous games played. Their fixtures, their next two fixtures will be against Kairat and then Atletico Madrid.
Right.
Let's move to Arsenal. Arsenal are first on the league log with 19 points. They went away to Bilbao to beat them by 2-0. They played Olympiacos at home. They beat them by 2-0. They played at home again to Atletico Madrid, and they beat them by 4-0. In the last 3 games, Arsenal has scored 8 goals. They've not conceded 1 goal. Their next 2 games will be against Slavia Praha and then Bayern Munich. I hope you are taking note of the
absolutely,
games. The fifth match, the fifth on the league log is Real Madrid.
Okay.
Real Madrid are first on the league log.
Phil, immediately you mention Madrid, Manuel is smiling. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Madrid is first in the La Liga table on the log with 24 points. In the Champions League, they played at home to Marseille. They beat Marseille by 2-1. They went to Kairat. They beat them by 5-0. And then they just played Juventus, then won by 1-0. In their next 2 fixtures, they play Liverpool away and Olympiacos away. Xabi Alonso would have to maintain the momentum against these 2 sides. This weekend, tomorrow, they are playing against Barcelona. And I believe a lot would be said with this, the setup of the Madrid team coming face to face with the Barcelona setup as well. I picked the first 3 games, the teams that lost 1 match, because I believe that they played certain teams that were tough.
Okay.
Yes, that's my reason for picking the 4 or 5 teams that lost 1 game in the first 3 games of the Champions League. The first team is Newcastle.
Okay.
Newcastle has played 3 games. On the EPL, they are 15th with 9 points. They played Barcelona at home in their first game and lost by 2-1. Rashford scored 2 goals for Barcelona. The second match was against Union St. Galois. They went away to beat them by 4-0. The third game was against Benfica. They beat them by 3-0. And like my brother rightly said, Eddie Howe is doing a wonderful job at Newcastle. Their next 2 games are against Bilbao at home again, and then they go to France to play Marseille. The 9th team is Barcelona. They are second on the league log with 22 points, and they are 9th on the Champions League log. They played Newcastle in their first game and won by 2-1. They played at home against PSG and lost by 2-1. And they played in their third game, a controversial game, against Olympiacos. My brother talked about it a while ago. They beat Olympiacos by 6-1. And I must say that I agree with Manuel. At the point where Barcelona were leading 2-1, by 2-1, Olympiacos were in the game, and it was end to end. Everyone was hoping, we want to see something like this. We want to see how the game would end. And then, boom, a red card. And then the game would have to shift to one side. I think that a lot of people have some issue with Barcelona when it comes to the Champions League and refereeing, because most of the time, most of the decisions goes in favor of Barcelona, and a lot of people would say that a lot has to be done when it comes to that. At some point, I wouldn't want to delve too deep when it comes to. Let me move to Liverpool. Liverpool on the log are 10th and are third on the EPL log with 15 points. In their first game, they won by 3-2 against Atletico Madrid. They went to Turkey to play Galatasaray and lost by 1-0. They went to Germany this week on Wednesday to beat Leverkusen by 5-1. And I must say that in that game, Frankfurt took the lead. They took the lead before Ekitike came back and equalized, and then they won the game. I think in that game, Van Dijk scored, Konate as well, the two center backs.
Then
scored,
Szoboszlai.
As well. And
then I think you mentioned Van Dijk, then Hugo Ekitike.
Exactly.
Yeah, was also on the score sheet.
And Slot, like our brother rightly said, wanted to have a balance in his setup. So we saw that in Germany, he played a 4-4-2 system. He played Isak and then Ekitike both in the lineup. They were the front runners in that setup. It was unfortunate that Isak got injured and had to be taken off at halftime. And in that game as well, I realized that Wirtz had an improved game. Since the time he joined Liverpool, he's not played very well like the way he did against Frankfurt. And that's a plus to I would give credit to Slot, because he's just trying to find a way to get the team to come back to its winning ways. And I must give him that credit for that. Liverpool in their next two games would be playing at home at Anfield against Real Madrid, and then they will play against PSV as well in the next two games. The last team that I'll pick is Chelsea, who is 11th on the league log. They have 14 points in the Premier League, where they are positioned at the 5th spot on the EPL log. Then in the first game, they played Bayern Munich away and they lost by 3-1. They won by 1-0 against Benfica, and they were something else against Ajax. A lot will say that Ajax is not on that form, and I would agree that yes, Ajax are not the Ajax that we know. So a lot of people should just tone down. Chelsea, yes, they are playing good football, and I must also say that we saw a different set of players play against Ajax from the team that played against Bayern Munich. The team that played against Bayern Munich seemed to be more matured than the team that played against Ajax. In the team that played against Bayern Munich, Sanchez started, Malo Gusto, Reece James, Tosin, Chaloba, Enzo Fernandez, Pedro Neto, Joao Pedro, Palma, and then Cucurella started the game. In the match against Ajax, Jorgensen started in post. Caicedo played at right back. Tosin, Fofana in centre back. Hato played at left back, Lavia in midfield, Buenote, Estevao, Enzo Fernandez, Gittins, and then Gil started that game. These are two different teams that played in the Champions League.
Yeah, that is to say that the level of opposition will attract the starting 11. Enzo Maresca decides to fail, and I think that he had that perfect.
Good. And the way he's rotating the players because of the Club World Cup, the way the players were, he's trying to work against fatigue.
Yeah.
And I think it would help the team. And even getting the young boys to play in the Champions League is a plus. Yeah. Because in that game, they had 3 18-year-olds score in the Champions League game. I think it's a record in the Champions League. And that's something that I think he's versatile. He's doing something good for the team. Yeah. That's what he's bringing to Chelsea. So this list is something I just want to say that most of the teams that have shot to the lead I would say are first on the league log
for the Champions
League would definitely have stiff oppositions as the time wore on. I believe Arsenal would be good because for now the only tough side that they will face, even the face that they will face at home, they won't go away, is against Bayern Munich. That would be after Bayern Munich travel to PSG to face them. Apart from that, the rest of the teams would be fine. And I believe the top 8 teams is something that a lot would know from their performance, because most of the teams that are free scoring teams, they are the teams that we anticipate that will occupy the first 8 spots. Victor.
You are still listening live to the Weekend Sports Rally here on Z101.9 FM. It's exactly 12:04. And guys, today you are enjoying a roundabout show. I've got a couple of messages here. Let me quickly run you by those messages. So, Kojo Bonsu from La Paz says that, look, I love this show and I love what Arne Slot is doing with this Liverpool side. It's quite sad that they had to struggle in their last previous games, but I'm sure after beating Eintracht Frankfurt, they are back on winning ways. So that is actually from Kojo Bonsu. Then this is from Kwesi Nsia from Ajigano, and he says that, guys, I'm really enjoying the show every Saturday. This is where I listen to for all the updates and everything. Well, that is Kojo Nsia. And then Amma Fanfare. Wow, what an interesting name. Amma Fanfare. Wow. And she's sending this message from Abelenkpe, and she says that I think that Chelsea is a good club. In fact, my boyfriend also supports Chelsea, so I decided, oh wow, I see. This is a big revelation. Oh. Well, that is from Amma Fanfare, and she's sending that one from Abelenkpe. Then we have Kwesi Ano from Assignment, and he says that, guys, let's be frank, I don't think Chelsea's opposition is tough enough. Let us cool down. We'll see where they land in the coming games in the UEFA Champions League. So that is coming from Kwesi Ano from Assignment. Then this one is from Brobe. Brobe is sending this one from Ajigano, and he says that, guys, I don't like the fact that journalists keep on lambasting coaches anytime they go to Africa and they lose their game. I think we can do better as a nation. Why is it that House of Folk and Kotoko fans must always be throwing shades at each other? We should rather be one and celebrate our football heritage. So that is coming from Brobre in Ajigano. Then Fanti Yellow. Wow, this is my first time hearing that. Fanti Yellow is sending this one from Committee 2. And he says that I'm a big Liverpool fan. Hala Liverpool. Okay, that is great to know from Fanta Yellow. And this one is coming from Abena Stargirl. She says that today I'm ready for the Classico. Hala Madrid. Well, so that is from Abena Fanfare. Then this is from Kojo Brema. He's sending this one to us from La Paz again, and he says that I hope today Madrid can avenge their loss. I hope today. It looks like we're having a lot of Madrid fans also. I can see Manuel. The song, the Hala Madrid song, Hala Madrid. I've opened your mic, so I want to.
Historia que tú hiciste, historia por hacer, porque nadie resiste, no estás aquí. I'll teach you.
No. You're getting to the sweet part.
You want to
no.
Okay.
Hala Madrid.
Madrid. Hala Madrid. Y nada más. Hala Madrid.
You are a proper Madrid fan.
Hala Madrid.
so guys, you have a member. Well, 2 messages more to go, and this is coming from Kwesi Donsu, and he's sending this one from Billingpay as well. And he says that I'm a big Barcelona fan, and looking at the way we are playing this season, it's going to be very difficult for us today at the Santiago Bernabeu, and that is from him. And also this one also coming from somewhere around Accra, Newtown, and he says that he scored Mike. So Mike from Accra, Newtown says that, look guys, I think that you guys are wonderful. I'm really, really enjoying the show. Thank you very much, Mike from Accra, Newtown. So a minute to 12:10, and you know what? I forgot something. Something heated. I forgot it. But before we go to Europe and preview the top European fixtures, let's hear this from the Ghana Football Association President, GFA Capo. Because it's a roundabout show, I cannot leave anything out. Let's listen to what he said within the week, and then we return. And in the next 5 minutes, we'll try to brood over it and all of that here. So here's GFA President Ket Okreku speaking about the eligibility controversy about the foreign-born players.
Just like any other person, but as a principled person, it is. I mean, you have to show beyond reasonable doubt that you want to play. You are committed towards the national flag. You are proud to be a Ghanaian. Players who have not shown enough commitment towards the Ghanaian flag will not be part of us. There must be good reasons why a player will be part of the traveling party. I want players who show high level of dedication, who show passion, and who show respect for Ghana, to represent Ghana. For me as a leader, I don't really care about what anybody says. At the end, it's me. And at the end, I'm responsible for Ghana. And if it is that, I just want to repeat what the coach said. If we have approached you before, if you have turned down Ghana before, if you have not shown respect to Ghana, your country, before, count yourself out.
Well, so that is the GFA president, Ket Okreku, speaking. Very, very direct, straight to the point. If we have approached you before, you have rejected us, count yourself out. And I don't know, I mean, this is a debate that looks like it is never going to end anytime soon, Manuel.
Yeah, look, I think he just echoed the sentiments of a lot of Ghanaians. Well, at the very least, he echoed the sentiments of the manager himself, Otuado, who also spoke on the issue and quite similarly said the same things. He's also echoed the sentiments of myself that in the studio when we spoke about this. And look, I just think it's the principle of the issue. When you're a person and we come to you as a person, we come to you as a country and we say, look, we want you to play for us, and you say no, we don't expect that you change your mind right at the moment. You see, and it's the timing too. You see, if they change their minds, maybe when we're playing the qualifiers or when we're playing other African, you could overlook it. But you do not change your mind then. You do not change your mind when we're playing qualifiers. Then you wait till we qualify ourselves to the World Cup, and then you feel like, oh, now I've had a change of heart. Now I bleed red, gold, and green. And now I bleed Black Stars. Now I bleed Ghana. that for me, the principle is just not right. But then again, I said we've set a bad precedent in the past. We've called on these players who have not even contributed. I made mention of the KP Boatengs and the likes. I feel like as a country, we just have to, take a stand on this issue and then stick to it no matter what. So if what we are saying is that we are not going to be calling up players who have not contributed and who have rejected us in the past, then let's do that. Let's not change it let's not change our stand when it comes to another player or stuff like that. That just makes us look like we are not true to our word, and we are being very nepotic in the decisions we make. But look, I think I agree with the president. My only worry is a line of his when in the words he said when he says, "I think it's my decision. It's ultimately up to me, and nobody can change my mind." What I say, I feel like those words are a bit it came on too strong because. Yeah, while you're the GFA president, you would expect that a manager or the manager of the Black Stars or the coach of the Black Stars has a lot of the decision or a lot of the power to make the decision on who he calls into his team or who he wants. He decides to say, "Look, I want to have this player in my team because But I said as the GFA president, for him to say nobody can change my mind. I don't care what anybody says. It's ultimately my decision. That for me didn't really sit well, but. Otherwise, I really, really agree with everything he said.
All right. Let me go over to Zoom where Manuel Tufo Jr. is. Tufo, those were the strong words. It's a strong-worded, statement from the GFA president. I don't know what Tufo makes of that. Tufo, do you agree with him on those calls that no contribution, no chop?
Yes, that should be the standard for a country like Ghana. If we believe we're a footballing nation, if we believe we have heritage with regards to the sport called football, there should be some sort of standard. However, with the president's words, I'm putting myself in his shoes. His words may be harsh and hard and firm enough in the sense that he was involved in some of these conversations, whether knowingly or unknowingly. He sat with some of the players. A player like Hudson Odoi, I know he sat with him. A player like the Crystal Palace guy,
Eddie Nketiah, yeah.
He sat with him. He spoke on phone with him, which I know. So he knows what went into it. That makes his words. You see, he's coming from a strained posture. He made mention of the word respect twice. So in the nature of that conversation and the whole agreement or in the whole negotiating thing, let me borrow the words of the transfer market. In the whole negotiating thing, they didn't show respect to the nation called Ghana. Fine, they may have showed respect to him as a person, Keto Kreku, by honoring their invites, by picking up their calls, by making time within their busy schedule to speak with him. But he puts himself aside and he looks at the big picture. Look, there are over 30 million people who will be glad to have you play for us. And your words doesn't resonate. Your actions and your whole conversation doesn't speak to you showing respect to us. That should be the marker. That should be the line. We should draw the line. If you don't respect us enough to play for us, you get to sit outside. However, people may disagree with him because of maybe he went too personal by saying, "I don't care what anybody says." But it should tell you how strained the conversation is or how hurt he is as a result of putting in much effort, flying over, talking to them, meeting them via Zoom, getting their parents. I remember Chris Hutton also spoke to Hudson Odoi's father. They made efforts. They made every possible effort to get these people on board. Then to my side of this whole buhaha, it should be an issue of quality. Ima, Kwao, you all agree with me that we need quality. We need to add quality to this side.
Absolutely.
Go out there to the World Cup. It's a kill or be killed issue. If you don't kill the teams that are coming at you, you get killed. You need quality to withstand the test of time. You need quality to compete. If these names thrown out there, they are quality, if they have the quality, the required actions, their KPIs are good according to the coach, if their work rate is good, their average goal scoring is good, their minutes played they are good, they should be invited, especially those we have not spoken to. There are some names in there per the agreements and per the conversations that went on. That is notably the Hudson Odoi, the Eddie Nketiah. For those two, I know is that strange. But for the others, it wasn't really, they didn't really touch base on them. So for them, the doors are always open. Then you look at the issue of quality. If they have the required statistics, if they fall in the coaches or the technical team criteria, if they have the right profile and they can help us, we need to bring them on board. Look at a player like, I seem not to get his name right. Angus Knaf or whatever. That guy from, I think, is it Frankfurt?
Is it Konodorfa?
No, Knaf.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
From Frankfurt. He is a very solid player, especially looking at our right wing back or our right back position, where we have Tariq Lamptey injured and out, Ali Seidu injured in and out. That is a player we can get in and fit in well per the profile of a right wing back or a right back. So players like that, they have a chance. So I mean, going forward, before I land on this case, I think if you're a player out there and you have ties with Ghana and these approaches or these conversations are in the mix, just leave the case open. Just tell yourself, I'm not decided yet, or I'm yet to settle. Just give us a no yes kind of thing so that it puts you in the right position. Again, Imam made mention of the timing. You see, wow, time is a revealer of things.
Absolutely. Very, very, very essential.
So at this point in time, why are you coming to us? So it makes it feel you are a bit opportunistic. You want to take advantage of the situation. We all have to take advantage of situation, but the timing may not just sit well for them, because at the other time that they were pursuing them, they had different things in their mind. They had different plans and they saw themselves elsewhere. So time is a revealer of things. So if you are a player there, if you know any foreign player out there, just tell them to leave the answer open. Tell them they should be indecisive. They should play the no or yes at the same time, or they should just say they don't know. So when you finally get to know, you get to join us. And again, I think the FA and the Football Association should take advantage of this. It is not about getting all of them to play for the national team. We can start bringing them to the junior levels, the under 23, the under 20. That is, if we do our scheduling and our things well. Whilst the Black Stars are playing a friendly in maybe against Nigeria, somewhere in UK, if we have the money and if we get our things right, we can equally organize an under 20 friendly for them here in maybe Morocco. If flying them over is expensive, you organize a friendly match, let's say against Mali's under 20 in Morocco. So whilst the senior team is playing, they are also playing a friendly match, giving them a sense of belonging that, hey, I'm playing for an under 20 side. It's a friendly time. So when I do my best, I get the chance to represent the national team. We all know that is the case in Europe. And
even for sorry to cut you, and even for Morocco, currently they have camps in the Netherlands. They have one also somewhere in Spain, because they realize that is where their talent seems to be emanating from. It seems to be a hub for Moroccan football talent. So they've pitched camp in those countries. And I think we can do the same for the Black Stars. When you watch the Black Stars, I think one of the countries that contribute so much talent to us as foreign-born players seems to be Germany. Germany is one of the places. I think England or the UK is gradually springing up to be another hub for Ghanaian football talent. So I don't know what the GFA, I don't know their plan, but
yes,
you've made a right point.
Very good. That is a good observation from you. So Germany and then England. So we have loads of Ghanaian-based, we have loads of Ghanaian-based communities in this area. So if you can bring these players together, whilst Ghana is playing, let's say, Serbia in England, a friendly game, we can get an under-20 side there. They also play a friendly game against under-20 Serbia or under-20 England. Then we get them going. We keep them active. We don't wait till it's under-23 qualifiers where it clashes with their club competitions and you try to bring them, you try to shove it down their neck and bring them to play for you at that very moment. they feel pressured at that time. But it's a gradual process. There's this goalkeeper for AZ Alkmaar. He's good. He's playing for the senior. He's playing for the senior team there. You can get him into the mix by a couple of friendly games. We have loads of friendly games and qualifiers before the main World Cup. Give them the opportunity, test them, try them. If they are not good, get them into a program where they play for under 20, under 23, a couple of friendly games. We can even do the WAFU friendly games down here in West Africa. Nigeria have great facilities. So Nigeria under 20, Ghana under 20, Mali under 20, Benin under 20. We get to play ourselves in a friendly game. You watch these talents, you grow them within the ranks, or you move them within the ranks, and hopefully they are yours. Imagine all the names thrown at us in our pool of players at under 23 and under 20 level. Our future is secured. Wow. So for me, it's 50-50. The president was hard because he was trained with the level of conversations and the things that went into trying to get them to play for us. He went a bit overboard by saying he won't listen to anybody or nobody can change his mind. Yes, I agree with him to a certain point, but that was too over the board as a leader. But again, the issue of quality should be looked at. If they are good and they are capable, they have the right profile, they meet the KPIs, we should bring them on board. Wow.
Absolutely. Very, very solid points there. Let me now go to Phil. Phil Annan, what do you make of that statement?
I must agree with my brother, and I think it's not a debate at all. Ket made it clear, and with the choice of words, I believe a lot of things have been said, and he is the main man. He has been used as a yardstick. He's been used as the one who will take certain decisions. So if he comes out to say yes, he's not changing his mind on certain things, I believe it's in the right direction. I agree with him. And to say that some of these boys are trying to get into the national team. Look at what some of the players would even benefit playing for the national team. They are now, and my brother also stated the timing aspect.
Yeah, very critical.
Very critical. And they came in after the qualification was done. And look at Salisu. Salisu was not playing regularly for Monaco. But right after the qualifiers, he's starting for Monaco. That tells you that even if you are a coach and you have players sitting on your bench, and some of them are playing for their national teams and they've qualified for the biggest stage in world football, that should tell you that there's something you are not doing wrong, you are not doing right. And that's exactly what is missing in the team for Monaco. Now he's starting for Monaco, and it tells you that the players need their national teams to get to certain levels. That's why they are forcing themselves to come to the Black Stars. I believe Ket has made this point. I agree with him, and this is not debate at all. And I agree with him, Victor.
Well, time to now go to Europe. It's 12:25, and at this moment, or at this juncture, our phone line is well activated for your thoughts. You can do that on the long line 030 39 56 641. 030 39 56 641. Well, let's get to Europe because this weekend's big fixture, of course, there's only one game that can headline this weekend fixtures, and certainly that game will be happening at the Santiago Bernabeu in Spain. It is Real Madrid who are taking on their arch rivals Barcelona in a game that promises so much intense, so much emotions and goals and all that you can think of. When you watch the prospects of that game and with regards to the last 4-5 meetings between these two sides, it always looked as if Barcelona have got something going on against their Madrid counterpart. But I'm hoping that this particular season, when you look at the form guide, and with the way some of the players have just are sparkling for Madrid, Jude Bellingham is getting his cuts well. Kylian Mbappe, right from last season, he's transitioning to this season with some great form. Vinicius Junior, we've seen promising plays from Arda Güler and all of that. I think that Sunday's game, tomorrow's game actually will be big, guys. And you know what makes it interesting is that we have a Madrid fan here. I'm a Madrid fan, but as what will I say, as a judge, I can't say much. Manuel, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Big game, of course, the biggest in the world. I think I don't know why I feel it's laughing. It's the biggest game in the world.
Absolutely.
Classico.
Yeah.
The biggest game in the world. The only
for this weekend.
Seasons go. No, for this week.
No.
For of all time, the biggest game in the world. Look, this is the only game.
Debatable.
This is the only game. Let me tell you this. This is the only game where you can have seasons gone by. It's not that maybe. I don't know who Dembele has won the Ballon d'Or, but seasons gone by, you could have 2 Ballon d'Or, 3 Ballon d'Or winners in the same game on the same field. This is the classic.
No, that is why I want you to put time.
That's what I'm saying. So
now you agree that it's not the biggest.
It is. Which side is bigger than Real Madrid?
If world? You have the likes
nobody is bigger.
If you have Manchester City playing, if you have Manchester United playing Liverpool. If you have, those
combine their Champions League together. Only me, I'll handle it.
It's not about Champions League.
They're not my size, bro.
You
this is the biggest game. I'm the biggest club, Real Madrid. Okay, but look, it's going to be a very tough game for us. I don't know. You see, when I talk about Barca, I get very agitated, and so I'll try to put the fun in me aside and analyze it from a very objective perspective. I think currently, when you look at both teams' current form, slightly we are better because Barca lost in the league recently to Sevilla. They were beaten 4-1 by Sevilla, and then in the Champions League also we saw Paris Saint-Germain also beat them at their own home. So they've lost 2 games in their last 5 games. We have lost just the 1 game, that is against Atletico Madrid. So form-wise, we seem to be better form-wise. That is what the good news for us. But the bad news is Phil and Victor. I feel like Madrid has a psychological problem with Barcelona. And I'm saying it here first. Because, look, even last season, we lost all the 4 Clásicos we played against them. They beat us in all 4. But the very first Clásico.
And not just losing, in a very embarrassing manner.
Jesus, I agree, the bitters. Why are you making it worse? But
it's really embarrassing. Sometimes you have to put the fun in you aside and be very blunt about it.
They beat us. They beat us.
They made the boys cry. The boys wept. And Jesus wept. And the boys wept.
I don't like what judges
not just the tears.
Your Honor,
their pockets also wept. Their pocket wept.
Your Honor, I will file for miscontent. You are not being fair. Let me present my case, please. So, in that first Clásico we played against them last season at the Bernabeu, that was under Carlo Ancelotti. Yeah, look, I think in the first half, if you watch that game, that was the best football I have seen a Carlo Ancelotti side play against ever. I think under all the time Carlo Ancelotti, even when we won the Champions League twice with him, that was the best football I have seen us play as a team. Mbappe scored, I think, 3 goals in the first half. All goals were offside. And then we went to halftime 0-0. We came back thinking, we are going to carry that same momentum from the first half into the second half. And it will be one of the most embarrassing scorelines for Barcelona in a long time. And they came to beat us 4 goals in the second half alone. They scored 4 against us at the Bernabeu in that first El Clasico last season. And from then on, it just, there was a second, I think that was in the Super Cup when we met them. We scored first 2 goals.
Yeah.
Mbappe came from the bench, we score, and then from nowhere, our boys just fumble it, and then we let them get back into the game. They equalized 2 goals, and then Ferran Torres scored the winning goal. They beat us 3-2 in there. You can talk about the Mbappe hat-trick when he came from the bench. Look, I think our problem with Barcelona is not the football. It's not a football. Honestly, it's not a football. Honestly, look, I've told people this. This Barcelona side on paper here should be the easiest Barcelona side you could ever be. Look, this Barca side, they're not really defending, no. Victor, you know Barca's defense this season? Set an offside trap. That's their whole game plan. Set an offside trap. What kind of a defense tactics is let me set an offside trap? So look, on paper, this Barca side should be the easiest Barca side you could ever face. But for some reason, we come up against these boys and we can even go 2 goals up. We can score first 2 goals and we let them creep in. And I think the damage was done under Pep Guardiola. I think Pep Guardiola's Barca did a psychological damage to this Real Madrid team and that we've not been able to overcome. And even Madrid fans themselves, if you hear Madrid fans, and I'm on Madrid, a lot of Madrid pages on WhatsApp, on Twitter, when Madrid fans are talking about Barcelona, you can just sense this sort of terror in them, and I think the players themselves feel that when they play Barcelona. And I think as a club, we have to deal with it psychologically. Hire psychological coaches to these players. Let them understand that, look, Barcelona are not the monster you think it is. Barcelona are a very beatable side. Like I said, already they've lost season. Look, Sevilla are about, I think they are 11th on the league table. Sevilla beat Barcelona 4-1. They are not as dangerous as they make themselves out to be. They are very beatable. And if I'm Xabi Alonso going into this game, that is why I'll be drilling into the minds of these players. Do not be afraid of them. There is nothing, to be afraid.
Show them some clips. Of how Madrid of old.
Madrid. When you Google the heaviest defeats ever in El Clasico, it is Real Madrid.
Yeah.
We beat them 11-1 in the 19s.
Show them the Champions League comebacks.
We've beaten Barcelona. Look, this scoreline that people are saying, the season before last season, we beat Barcelona consecutively for 4 times like they did us. Yeah. But people are not talking about that. People are just conveniently forgetting that Real Madrid also beat Barcelona consecutively for 4 times. But you see, this is a side we've beaten before. We can beat. At any day we can beat. The football is not what they do better than us. Okay? So I think, look, we have the boys. Kylian Mbappe has 10 goals in the league this season. Do you know Barcelona's highest scoring player in the team list? Ferran Torres. He's on 3 goals. He's not even starting for them. So, look, man for man, take Kylian Mbappe. Vinicius has about 9 goal contributions. 5 goals, 4 assists. Lamine Yamal has 4 assists, also 5 assists. He's on top on the assist league. But that's all. That's all Lamine Yamal has. He's got assists going for it. He's not got the goals. Lewandowski is injured. Rafinha is not going to be playing this game. They're going to be missing a lot of guys. On paper, we should be beating Barcelona, but psychologically, we find a way to let them, I don't know what it is about.
They just grab you.
I don't know. We are so afraid of them. I don't know and I think that, like I said, the damage was done under Pep Guardiola when they had that dangerous Messi, Iniesta, and Pep Guardiola was cooking. They beat us in the Champions League. They will catch us in the Champions League. They will beat us 5. They will catch us in the league. They will beat us 5. I think that era really, really ruined Madrid fans. But look, Madrid, this is the biggest club in the world we are talking about. You've got all the Champions League trophies. You've got all the league. And you see, people forget, but Barcelona was established at least about half a century before Madrid was established. We were formed in 1902. Barca were formed in 18s, but we still somehow managed to get all the Spanish La Liga titles. We still somehow managed to get all the UEFA Champions League titles. We are a bigger club than Barcelona. I'm not even going to kid you on that. We've got all the trophies, So we have to start playing like we are. We are the big boys. They are the underdogs. We've got everything. We've got money than them. We've got a better stadium than them. So look, let's start playing like we are the better side because we are. Do you understand? And let's stop feeling so timid when we play Barcelona. Let's go all out. I expect Xabi Alonso because so far Xabi Alonso has fumbled when he's meet the big guys. We saw it against Paris Saint-Germain in the FIFA Club World Cup. It was really embarrassing to see PSG beat us by 4-0. We saw how Chelsea played against PSG, and they had an easy day. Against Atletico Madrid in the league recently, Atletico Madrid beat us first. They scored the first goal. We came back. We scored 2 quick goals, and we led in the first half. First half didn't even end, and Atletico equalized. So we ended that first half 2-2, and then we come back and we think, okay, we can do something, and then Atletico Madrid, it's Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. They come back and they beat us by 5 goals. There is a psychological problem with this team. And I feel like they have to hire the best psychologists to drill into the mind of these players. Look, you are you are playing for the best team in the world. You yourself, if you are not good enough, you will not be playing at Real Madrid. You have to be very good to be a player. So believe in your talents, know you are good enough, and then go on the pitch and play like you are a Champions League all-time winner. You know, you play like you are playing for the Los Blancos, the Galacticos. This is the biggest club in the world. So I feel like, look, I expect on Sunday, I want revenge. Me, I want revenge.
Charlie.
I want revenge.
and you can understand where Manuel is coming from. Charlie, it's too bad.
It was brutal, bro.
Too bad. I mean, the boys cannot even yob again.
Bro.
I mean, if you are yobbing, you have to be careful.
That's the funny part, though. You know, all time, when you compare the head-to-head right now, we are leading them.
Yeah.
We are leading the all-time head-to-head with El Clasico. It's just by one. But we are still leading, okay? But you can't even say that. Because they will tell you, oh, I've beaten you 4 times in a row. And you can't really talk.
Because there's always a time cap to these arguments. And there's a simple question. In the last 4 games, which team is the best? It is Barcelona. There's no argument about it. Then when we talk about overall, then yes, but who will even talk about overall when we are talking about current form?
But you should be able to talk about overall. We are talking about head-to-head.
Then you should understand Manchester United.
No. And the boys want to talk about business. And once business is concerned, it is now, not then.
All right. So look, Phil. Look, me. I want revenge on Sunday.
All right.
And I think, look, if all the players, if you were Mbappe, and last season you came to Real Madrid and you faced Barcelona and you lost all 4 games, I think Mbappe, you have to want revenge too. You know, because you are Mbappe. You are Kylian Mbappe. You are a Ballon d'Or player. Okay, you are the biggest player in the world at the moment. You are on form. You are scoring goals. You have to show it. If you are Vinicius Junior and you last season you came close to winning the Ballon d'Or, you were robbed. Yeah, and you want to prove a point. And Vinicius tweeted after that Ballon d'Or fiasco that I'm going to do it 10 times. I have to do it 10 times for them to give it to me. That's what I'm going to do. Actions, man. We have to start showing that we are Real Madrid. When we come up against this Barcelona side, a Barcelona side that an aged Inter Milan. Look, an Inter Milan side that the youngest player in that Inter Milan side was their defender, Acerbi. Come on, man. An aging Inter Milan beat Barcelona came to the Camp Nou and drew 4-4 and they beat them at home. We can't beat this Barcelona side. Come on, man. What are we saying, man? Tomorrow should not be a match. Right from the whistle, let's go rampage these people and get some necessary revenge because we've ended, bro. We've ended.
All right, guys, let's keep the fixtures. I've allowed Manuel so much time because he's a Madrid fan, but we want to try and then touch base with all the leagues across Europe. So 2-4, Junior. Classico tomorrow, Barca Madrid. First of all, which of the sides are you swinging to?
Well, for me, I'm swinging to Madrid because I think they've suffered long enough from last season. And this is the time they need to make amends for themselves. I haven't heard any passionate analysis like what Ima did. Ima, you do all. I would say it's about how Alonso gets to be more pragmatic with his system. Ima made mention of the fact that in the big games, against Paris Saint-Germain at the Club World Cup, against Atletico Madrid, and you could see that there's something lacking when it comes to his system about being pragmatic during these big games. You could study Barca. All Barca have is their high line of defense. It's a trap. When it gets you, that's all. That is the system they have created to defend. The best defender is probably Pau Kubasi. All of them, they have their weaknesses and their vulnerability. So why not get something pragmatic enough from your system and get this win? I don't care about the scoreline. It's not about scoring 5 or 6 to avenge all the defeats of last season. It's about getting the win, making sure that this season is a fresh start. We are getting the win against our bitterest rivals. But again, you look at Barcelona and how new players tend to find comfort or tend to score freely during the Classico. I remember from Pedro, Ibrahimovic to David Villa to all the new guys, Sanchez, all the new guys that pops up with regards to the front line for Barca. They always seem to score. I have a feeling Rashford will score tomorrow.
Prophetic.
Yes, I have a feeling Rashford will score tomorrow because it has always been the case. Rafinha got in there, he got his goal, I think, in the second Classico. In his second Classico, Robert Lewandowski in his first Classico got a goal. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So for me, I think Madrid, I'm moving towards Madrid. They should make amends. They should just win the game. They shouldn't really care about the scoreline, and then they move on from there.
Okay, so that's 2-4 Junior. Phil, you are a Chelsea fan, so maybe you may not dwell so much on it, but what do you think? The Madridistas are worried.
Yes, they should be. They should be. But I think with this team, Barcelona, they are missing out on certain key players, and it should be an advantage for Real Madrid. My question has to do with Xabi Alonso, whether he shouldn't overthink, because that has been his problem. To me, I believe he's done so well. When he joined the club, he wanted to play the 3-back system. They told him, hey, this is La Liga. The game is different. So you need to come up with a different system that would help out in defense. Else you would concede a lot of goals. He's stuck with the 4-3-3, and I think it's helping the team. Barcelona, on the other hand, has played well. We know how they are riot when it comes to goal scoring. But they are missing out on my key player. I believe he was the best player for the team last season. That's Rafinha. A lot of people were talking about Yamal, but I never saw Yamal in last season's team. He was good, yes, but he was not close to where Rafinha was. He was on form, top form. This time around, he's injured, and I think that has been the problem for Barcelona this time around. And Lewandowski as well. I think Koundé is a doubt, which is something which Xabi should capitalize on. He should take advantage of. Try to set up a system where he could beat Barcelona well. Like the high line you are talking about, Real Madrid has quick players. They should just time their runs, and that's it. That's it. When you play against Chelsea and you play high line, you concede a lot of goals, because Chelsea, Maresca set up his team. When it comes to that system, they beat a lot of teams that want to play the high line or open up to play against Chelsea, and that the Real Madrid should be able to beat teams like that, teams that want to play high line. That has been his problem, and I think he should work on that. Coming against this Barcelona team, that is their yardstick in defense. That is what helps them in defending. They also are very good with a high line. So playing Mbappe, Vinicius, they are very quick. This guy as well, Rodrigo, he's also quick. You should use them as the front three, and I think you should be good. They should just time their runs, and they will be fine. Bellingham, Valverde, and the rest, they send in long balls. So I don't see where I'm playing in front of their fans. It shouldn't be a draw. A draw is something which I don't see. I believe Real Madrid should win, and win well, when it comes to this fixture.
Well, so that is Phil. And I'm speaking there. When you go to the other games of the La Liga Santa, there, I think currently Real Oviedo is leading Girona by 0-0, and it is Vinas Federico who have just managed to put Real Oviedo ahead in that particular game. Other games as well in the Spanish La Liga, you have Espanyol taking on Elche. You have Athletic Bilbao, Inaki Williams Athletic Bilbao taking on Getafe. Then you have Valencia against Thomas Partey's Villarreal. Those are games that are happening today in the La Liga. And when you go to the English Premier League, you have Phil's Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. They'll be taking on Sunderland. You have Newcastle at the St. James Park welcoming Fulham. You have Manchester United at Old Trafford, and they are sitting home to Brighton and Hove Albion. Then you have Brentford taking on Liverpool in the English Premier League. Guys, let's stay with the English Premier League. Which of them is your big fixture? And let's do that in 1 minute, 30 seconds, so that we have time to touch base with the other fixtures. So Phil, let me start with Manuel.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Arsenal Crystal Palace game, because I think that game could possibly decide who stays on top of the table come after the end of the week, because Arsenal are first currently, Liverpool are
I think they have 19 points, followed by Man City with 16.
Liverpool I think has 15. Liverpool are second,
and then Chelsea themselves are fifth also.
So with 14. This is a Crystal Palace side that they beat Liverpool already this season. When they come up against the big boys, they always seem to put up a very, very good performance. You know, Oliver Glasner he enjoys beating the big teams. I listened to him against Arne Slot, and it was like, when Arne Slot beat him last season, it was like, look, I'm going to work on your tactics. I understand what you do now, and next time I'm going to beat you. And he did. He beat him in the Community Shield, and he also beat him in the league. This is a man who enjoys the competition, the tactical battle. So Arsenal have been tagged as the haram football side, the set piece team. Their defense is so tight, they are not conceding. They will score you with set pieces. They won't score you from open play. They will score you from a corner kick. Nobody can seem to defend their corner kicks. I think Oliver Glasner is going to come into this game and he's going to be thinking, I think I want to be the first team that stops this Arsenal team. I want to be that team that proves everybody wrong and show everybody that, look, they are not as dangerous as people make them out to be. And so, tactically, I think it's a very, very enticing game come Sunday. But there's another game I'm looking at, and that's Brighton, Manchester United. Brighton has beaten United in all their last 3 meetings in the Old Trafford. Today, on Saturday, they'll be going to Old Trafford. Brighton have a very, very strong record against United at the Old Trafford. Amorim has won some decent games of late. They beat Liverpool. They are in a very different place psychologically.
Looks like there's a
turnaround. I want to see if it's just a hoax or if it's actual turnaround, because this Brighton side are going to give them a run for their money. They know how to beat them. They've beaten them the last 3 times they've come there at the Old Trafford. So I'm very much keen on seeing if Amorim was just calming United fans with that Liverpool win or he's actually turning it around.
Phil, back to you before I go to 2-4.
Before I touch on the Chelsea game, I'll pick Manchester United quickly against Brighton. Just like Emmanuel said, Brighton, they've been. I would say Old Trafford has been their second home ground currently. In some few seasons back, they've always gone there. They've beaten Manchester convincingly, and today, that's the game I'm going to watch, because Manchester United, I think it's taking them 2 years to win back-to-back in the Premier League after beating Liverpool last week. And I think they would want to maintain that run. But coming against such a team that are versatile, they are all over the place. And with Welbeck coming back to lead the attack, Welbeck played, exactly, and he knows the terrain. It is going to be very difficult for Manchester United, even at their own backyard. A lot of people seem to see Manchester United being back or close to being back to their normal level, but I think that it will take time. Because we see such performances most of the time after the international break or from the start of the season. They played Arsenal in their first game. They had a month of preparation. They came back again against one of the teams after international break. They came back to play Liverpool, and they had that time to plan things, prepare, and with Liverpool as well having they beat Chelsea as well, and they had the time to prepare for such a game. Slot had his own issues with Liverpool, so I wouldn't say much, but this is a test for the Manchester United lads.
2-4, what do you make of all of this?
Well, let me start with the Arsenal Crystal Palace game.
Yeah, and keep it very brief for me, because I'm running out of time.
Yes, Iman rightfully said that it can decide who gets to be on top. And I think the whole week has played into Arsenal's hands. They played a match earlier. They get enough time to rest as compared to Crystal Palace, who played on Thursday. They lost. The momentum is not that good when it comes to the team spirit. And then they are coming up against an Arsenal side who are very stern and on form. both defensively and attacking wise. So I think it's going to be an interesting game. There could be a surprise because Crystal Palace has also shown that this season they are not any minnow at all. And Oliver Glasner's team from the second part of last season till now have been a decent side. But I still expect Arsenal to win by a close score, 2-1, 1-0 win. And then Manchester United, can they sustain the new wave? Can they light up a new flame, winning back-to-back? Is it the right time for Amorim to establish a system or really embrace the Premier League? Because he has really struggled with the Premier League with regards to the system, the kind of, the style of play and everything. But right now, there's an unpredictability about them. Brighton don't know if United are going to play from the back. They're going to hook in long balls and all that. So they can spring up a surprise and then hopefully they get to right the wrongs because Brighton has really enjoyed Manchester United at Old Trafford. It has to change, and this is the time. If they win this game, they have a good momentum now. Thank you.
You have 1 minute before I let go of you. Now, tell me, do you think that Liverpool is also playing as well? There's a player that have been central to the game this particular season, Alexander Isak. Do you think that Isak struggles is because you not joined the Reds for preseason or whatever? Just 1 minute. What do you make of Isak?
Yes, I think he created a problem himself. He could have professionally went through the norm. I mean, go do your preseason with Newcastle, have fun, get yourself in shape, mentally ease yourself into the new season, and hopefully you get your desired transfer rather than creating that whole drama, staying out, having to go train with Real Sociedad, moving away from a proper preseason setup, and also coming into a team where everything is working already. You need to step up. If you are scoring 20, 26 goals at Newcastle, when you come to Liverpool, it is expected that you get twice the amount or more than half. So clearly, I think he created a problem for himself. He's yet to settle. And I feel for Ekitike because he started the season so well. Isak comes in as an experience or as a player within the league already. He ejects him, he puts him aside, and Isak is not delivering. Right now, Slot, should he go back to Ekitike and drop Isak? No, because of his price tag, familiarity, and he being, quote-unquote, a top player than Isak and Ekitike, he has to start. So for Isak, it's a problem he created for himself, but he should dig deep. He should dig deep. Once you've played in a Premier League setup, scoring 20-plus goals, you shouldn't find difficulty scoring within this clicking or a working Liverpool side.
Okay, so your final, anybody want to greet? Because anybody want to greet?
Yes, I think I've made a new friend. Is it Alma Fanfare? I heard the messages.
Yes, yes.
Greetings to Alma Fanfare. I don't know her, but I just love the name. Maybe we should give her an award or something. My regards to my father, who is in Accra. He's in Weja, Mr. Emmanuel Tofo, Senior, 3-time Olympian and former board director of National Sports Authority, and also to all my great guys down in the National Sports Authority, Accra head office. I love them so much, and then they should keep working hard.
Oh, thank you very much. That's Tufo Junior. You heard there. Now back to the studio. A quick one from Manuel and Phil. What do you make of the Isak issue?
Yeah, I think, look, it's not a question of quality, right? We know he's a fantastic player.
Absolutely.
He's been so for Newcastle. Even before Newcastle, he led a Real Sociedad side to their first trophy in about 20 years. He was part of that new Real Sociedad side. It's not a question of quality, so that we can put that one to bed. So the question is the preseason that he didn't really have with Liverpool probably part of why he's not hitting the ground running. And I think to some extent, yes, because what preseason does is managers get to fix these players into the team, try the various systems, various formation, and see which one works for them. And I think Arne Slot didn't get that with Isak. He's now trying to figure out how best Isak fits into this Liverpool setup. And I think to a large extent, that is also why. But I also think psychologically, the whole transfer brouhaha with Newcastle, how he had to be, sidelined from the Newcastle team, how fans were harassing him, abusing him online. I think a lot of that also got into his head. And he's human. Players are human beings. People forget that. And I think he needs time to, deal with that, psychological hardship, trauma, if you can call it that, and then realize that he's at a new environment. This is the big moment now. Liverpool bought you for a record transfer fee, for the club side. You have to start playing. You have to start performing. Otherwise, the pressure keeps piling up. Your name is always in the news. Isak this, Isak that. He has not won that. So I think he will come good because Liverpool are a great side. He's a fantastic player. Eventually, they will just find a way to work it out.
All right, Phil, I mean, your take on Isak and his troubles.
A lot of people have raised certain factors. Some are saying because of the preseason that he didn't have with the team, the overall cost that Liverpool bought him for, a number of probably the appearances. He didn't start the league with the team because he was sidelined because of the issues that he had with Newcastle and all that. Injuries as well because he had a knock earlier on and that kind of thing. But I feel that it has to do with slot setup as well because he needs the understanding with the forward liners, the Gakpos, the Salas, and the rest. They need to understand themselves. He needs to work with them, understand their movements and when the passes should come, whether he should receive it, turn and receive, or whether it should be floated ahead of him and that kind of thing. These things are things that you learn when you are training with the attackers because he's an attacker. He needs to understand the movement of certain players and that kind of thing. It will take time. We saw on Wednesday, we saw Slot playing the 4-4-2 system. That's the first time in this season that he's played that system. He's trying to probably get the two to play together. That's Ekitike and then Isak to play together. And we also saw, like I said, we saw Wirtz playing his best game in Liverpool shirt. So it will take time, but he will come good. He's an experienced player in the Premier League, and I think this shouldn't be a problem at all, like the way the fans are putting it. He will come good.
And just do your greeting or whatever, 30 seconds, and then.
I would greet a very good friend of mine, George. We are on the same platform, the Managers Club. Yesterday, I had to beat him 5-4 in a FIFA 26 game.
Wonderful.
Yes, because before we started the season, he made noise that he was going to beat me. I gave him a real good beating. George, good afternoon. We'll meet again in the second round.
Okay, Manuel.
Hello to my boys, my colleagues at work, Jonas, Magdalene, Kelvin, and all the fam, and then also to all Madridistas out there. Let's beat Barcelona on Sunday, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, interesting, isn't it? I've got a couple of messages. Let me do them quickly and do a birthday message. Else, in fact, I will not return on Monday. This one is coming from Erase Cylinder from Abelempe, and she says that, guys, great show, but I believe that Real Madrid is winning this afternoon. Well, this is coming from George Achampo Ajigano, and he says that 3-2 Barcelona. Well, exciting stuff. Antonio Usu sent this one from the Impasse in East Legon, and he says that, Hala Madrid. Madrid is winning by 5-1. And that reminds me, there's an old boy in my house, Charlie, a proper Madrid star. Mike Ege is sending this one from Barlesi, and he says that I think Chelsea will come good this afternoon. And this is from Kojo Bones once again, La Paz. He says that I love the show and I'm enjoying the game, but tell Liverpool fans that we are back for good. And this is also from Tyrone Akwesi Ajigano, and he says that, guys, it's a wonderful afternoon listening to you guys. Well, so let me do this birthday message. And it says that I wish my father, the oath taker, a happy birthday. More grace and good health for him. And the message is coming from his son, Richmond Kwesi Asumeni. Let me take the birthday message again. This is a son wishing the father, and it says that I wish my father, the oath taker, a happy birthday.
Come on.
More grace and good health for him. And it's coming from his son, Richmond Kwesi Asumeni. And also from us here at Z101.9 FM, we wish that Mr. Oteka a happy birthday, and also pray that God grant you more favor, grace, and everything.
How you lift me up when
Well, so this is where we would have to close the docket on today's weekend sports rally on Z101.9 FM. My name is Vector Kwao, and so much thanks going out to the weekend rally family on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere, and including my guys Phil Annan, Emmanuel Donko, and even 24 Junior. If you don't hear our voice again, we say it's a good afternoon. Make sure that you always join us this same time next week, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and we will serve you with the best from Europe and even on the continent. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. Trust God and have a great sporty day.